How to build some stairs. Everybody talks about how difficult they are, but it really is pretty simple. So today I'm going to show you how to do that. We're just going to build a little step right here because right now my wife can't reach the bottom of the washing machine. So we're going to build a little step. We're going to go 16 inches tall. So we're just using a 2x6 for the treads and a 2x10 for the stringer. And that 2x10, it has about a 18-inch crack at the end. So I got it for $5, but you got to ask about that whenever you go to Lowe's and check out. They'll discount it for you. So since we're going 16 inches tall on this step overall, the rise is 8 inches, and I'm doing a 10 7/8 run since I'm using 2x6. So I'll have about an 1/8 of an inch overhanging. On that first step, since I'm using 2x6 for the treads, you want to subtract 1.5 inches because you don't have that tread on top of it, if that makes sense at all. I hope that makes sense. So the first step would be 6.5 with 1.5 inch tread on top, and then that'll counteract for the second step and anything else if you do more than that. I always like to color in or scribble the piece that I'm keeping. So there's the outline I got to cut out. Then I just ran over here and did the same thing. Between that first step and that line right there, I just did 1/8 of an inch. That way I could split the middle, and that's that many less cuts I got to make. My cordless saw wasn't having it. Battery died twice, so grabbed the old trusty corded, and I thought it had a short in it, and I was starting to get really pissed off. And then I realized that the cord it was plugged into was on fire. So I straightened that up, and then we got to cutting. No big deal. So cut out all the stringers. The reason I color them in is also it helps you cut on the correct side of the line. And then you can overlap and get that little cross, but I don't really like that. So I just get as close as I can and then zip out the rest with a multi-tool. I'm using a fine tool here, but I wouldn't recommend buying one because it's way overpriced and it still has a cord. I wish I would have just got Makita because that's what everything else is, and it would have been like $300 cheaper than that fine tool. But you live and learn, whatever. So cutting out my second stringer, zip out those inside corners, and there we go. We're ready to cut up some treads. Let's do it. So I just used a 2x6 for my treads, and I got just an 8-foot stud, honestly, because it's like $1.50 cheaper than a full 8-footer, and it's like 3 inches shorter. So I just divided that length by 4, and that's the width of my stairs. Try and get as little amount of waste as possible. That's the name of the game. So once you get all your treads cut, you want to sand them down. I use 220. That way you can walk on there barefoot and it's nice and silky smooth. I might end up painting these or staining them later, but for right now it's just going to be unfinished wood. All right, this is the part that I think is pretty cool because it makes making the back legs super easy. You don't have to find that angle because you just use a piece that you cut off because the angle's already established. So you line up your framing square to the bottom, and then you mark the bottom of your leg. And then basically, all right, so you just split that in half. I'm sorry, if this doesn't make perfect sense, hit me with a question in the comments and I will do whatever I can to answer your question for you. So that's the height. Mark the center and split it down the middle. And then you want to measure the tall one. I'm at 11 1/4. So then you go to this one. I burn 1 inch for accuracy. Mark 12 1/4. And then make your line there. And then there's your 2 feet. So start with the lowest cut cut that center up to the cross, and then zip out that corner. So there's your two pieces. Then you just cut on that line to split them in half, and then you got your legs for your stairs. Hope that made sense. I think it's a super easy way to do it. And then to connect those legs, I just did some pocket holes. Those pocket holes are the easiest. All right, now that you got your stilettos, line them up, and time to install your treads. Always put the top one on first. I did about a 1/4 inch overhang on the sides, and then you just put your back corner screws in. And here's a little tip. I'm sure a lot of you have already probably seen this done, but instead of pre-drilling all those, you can actually throw your drill in reverse and crank it in reverse, and then put it back and just screw it down, and that way the wood doesn't split. It's pretty cool. It avoids all the pre-drilling. So then you line up the rest of your treads, get it the way you like it, and zip all your screws in. Like I said, just put your screw where you want it, rip it in reverse, and then throw it into forward and screw it down. No cracks. It's fantastic. I'm always down to answer questions and help out. I know there's probably something in here I didn't explain right, so if you got any questions, hit me up. I will answer them. I check all the comments. And here you go, easy peasy stairs. Thanks for watching, guys.